The Ancient Warship, a class of vessels developed by the Ancients during their long period of residence in the Pegasus Galaxy. The powerful ships were a cornerstone in the Ancients' fight against the Wraith 10,000 years ago, and several survived to be discovered by other races millennia later. A galactic war between the Wraith and the Ancients, also called Lanteans, raged across the Pegasus Galaxy approximately 10,000 years ago. During this period, the Lantean warships served as the cornerstone of the Ancients' war effort. Given their offensive capabilities, it's possible that the ships may have been developed in this era, specifically for this conflict. Numerous ships were manned by Lanteans and deployed strategically around the galaxy, engaging with Wraith hive ships on numerous fronts. The Ancient Warship is a large-scale battlecruiser, built for combat with Wraith hive ships and to sustain crews of more than 100 people for both strategic deployments and long-term missions. Stasis pods on board can ease the strain of particularly long voyages, allowing the user's mind to interface with the virtual reality connected to the ship's systems. The ships are equipped with both sublight and hyperspace engines, and include ordinary facilities such as a main bridge, engine room, armory, crew quarters, and a brig. As the Ancients' technology was far more sophisticated than that of the Wraith, the warship's hyperdrive is capable of crossing the void between galaxies if necessary. The warship's systems are powered by a single zero-point module on board. Crew must possess the Ancient gene in order to activate key systems, providing a genetic security measure against the Wraith or other species capturing a ship and turning it against Atlantis. The ships are equipped with energy shields and standard ancient weapons, including drones, which are effective against Wraith vessels. But it was the Wraith's superior numbers that eventually overwhelmed the Ancients, who could take on 1 or 2 hives at a time, but struggled when outflanked by multiple enemy targets. While the Ancients eventually ceded the war to the Wraith's superior numbers and fled back to Earth through the Stargate, several of their battlecruisers survived intact up to the present day. These have been discovered by various groups of humans, including the Atlantis expedition from Earth, who were able to get the ship's systems online again, even taking them into battle against the Wraith once more. These ships include the Aurora. During the first siege of Atlantis, this ship was dispatched on a reconnaissance mission to the outer rim of the Pegasus Galaxy. There, the captain, First Officer Trabal, and the crew were able to acquire information concerning a weakness in Wraith technology. But they were unable to return to Atlantis before the war was lost. John Shepard's team found the entire crew dead of old age, their minds uploaded to a virtual copy of the ship, but unaware of their fate in the real world. Aurora was finally destroyed, with the crew choosing to sacrifice themselves to destroy 2 Wraith ships in the real world. Because this was the first warship discovered by the present-day Atlantis expedition, ancient warships came to be identified as Aurora-class vessels. The Hippophoralcus, named for a Lantean military general. After its discovery by the Atlantis expedition, the ship was renamed Orion. The ancient warship was in the possession of the Turanians, discovered in a massive hangar on their world left behind by the Lanteans. The ship was in a state of disrepair, likely intended to be repaired and put back into service in the final days of the Wraith War. Dr. Rodney McKay successfully repaired the ship in time to escape the seismic destruction of Tyrannus. As his own people were not able to operate the ship, Chancellor Lycus agreed to allow Atlantis to use the ship in exchange for helping the Turanians resettle. The Orion was commanded by Colonel Shepard and Major Lorne in a series of skirmishes with the Wraith, but lost in battle. The Tria. Under the command of Captain Helia, the trio was engaged in battle with the Wraith 10,000 years ago. When they received word that the evacuation to Earth was in progress, they began the long trip across the void between galaxies. But during the voyage, the battle-scarred Tria's hyperdrive failed, leaving the crew effectively stranded as they proceeded to the Milky Way at 0.999 times the speed of light. Due to relativity, time passed much faster outside the ship, and a chance encounter with the Earth ship Daedalus prompted Helia to order braking maneuvers. The still-living Lantean crew returned to Atlantis and assumed control of the city, more than 100 people in total. But after the humans from Earth were sent home, the replicators attacked, and presumably the trio was destroyed as the crew was wiped out. The Traveler's Ship. Under Laren's leadership, a nomadic group of humans came across a derelict Lantian warship in a 200-year elliptical orbit around a dwarf star. The travelers were able to board the ship and access its logs, learning that the crew abandoned the vessel after a fight with the Wraith impacted the engines, shields, and communications. After escaping into hyperspace, the Lantian crew learned that the main drive was giving off deadly radiation, and they abandoned the ship, intending to return and effect repairs that never occurred. The travelers repaired the ship, and with some forced help from Colonel Shepard, managed to initialize its systems and engineer an interface to circumvent the ancient gene requirement. They took the ship into battle against the replicators, but the warship was later destroyed when the Atero device destroyed the Stargate at the travelers' ground-based colony. Finally, the design of the Lantian warship appears to have been precisely duplicated by the Asurans, a race of human-form replicators created by the Ancients to help fight the Wraith. Regarding themselves as spurned children, the Asurans developed their own civilization over the course of millennia, but imitated their creators at every turn, including their ships. The Atlantis expedition even referred to the enemy ships as Aurora class. Along with their allies, they fought against the Asuran warships throughout their own conflict, from the Apollo's preemptive strike on Asuran shipyards to the final battle in orbit over the Replicators' home planet. Most, but not all, of these ships were destroyed by the explosion of the planet Asurus. Given the resilience of Lantian technology over the millennia, it is likely that other warships remain intact, still tucked away and gathering dust in the various corners of the Pegasus Galaxy, long after the war that required their construction faded into ancient history. For more people, places, and things from the Stargate universe, visit StargateOmnipedia.com. If you want to support Gateworld on YouTube, like this video and leave a comment, and share this video with a friend. Check out this playlist for more videos from the Stargate Omnipedia.